Hey, Planeswalkers, Mythras here. Hope you're doing well and staying safe. The banning has happened. We've lost Euro. 4-color Omnath is a little bit different. I'm going to say not no more, but it's going to be different going forward. And then also the Sultai control deck that we did recently as well will be slightly different. So with that said, this deck is one that I've been looking forward to playing. It is performing well in the meta and will continue to do so coming out of this banning. So very excited about it. Additionally, it's going to have my spin on it today. I've spent a lot of time tweaking this one for you, and I think we got a good solid mythic deck for you. So with that said, Planeswalkers, before we get started and jump into it here, just want to say thank you as always. I appreciate your support. Please feel free to subscribe to the channel down over there. If you like the video, please like it. You can like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter and Twitch as well. So what deck am I talking about? Well, my friends, we have a Dimir Rogues deck. So I've been waiting for this, and I wanted to wait post-ban for a couple of reasons. One, I was strongly under the impression that Euro was going to get banned, and that was the only card that got banned. And additionally, I love Mill, and I wanted to give you a fun deck that's going to be just fine coming out of the banning. Now, most of the Dimir Rogue decks that I've seen, and the statistics I have seen run at both best of 1 and best of 3, around 55% plus. So very competitive out there. This deck is very, very brutal and does a lot of wonderful things and moves very, very quickly. You don't need a top end that's too high. So we're going to go through, take a look at the deck list. Again, I created this one down below. I've kind of mashed up what I've seen between the best of 1 and best of 3 to give you a great deck for either that you're going to play. So here we go quickly, and then we'll come back and talk about this a little bit. So first off, while we are going through this, as I mentioned, the deck list is available down below. We'll get to the sideboard here in a second, but for those of you that don't know, Dimir is the blue and black coloring, and then from a guild perspective, and then additionally this is a rogue deck because the primary creature function here of all of these cards are rogues minus Slitherwisp there, so it is a rogue tribal. So that is why it's called the Dimir Rogue deck. For those of you that may not have known or are new to Magic, congratulations. Hopefully that was a fun tidbit for you. So anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at this. I think it's really important. Again, I love Mill. This is a great Mill opportunity. Lots of things here from Zendikar's Rising. So Merfolk Windrobber, this card's great. So not only does it deal damage to a player, it's got flying. Mills a card, and then you can sacrifice at 8 cards or more in your opponent's graveyard to draw a card. Thieves Guild Enforcer, still a carryover from M21. I like Jawari Disruption. The one challenge with this deck that you can run into is because we're running Jawari, we're running Glasspool Mimic, and then I've also added in Hagra Mulling and then Agadim's Awakening. You can get a little funky sometimes in terms of your mana base. So what I did try and do, I didn't like some of these I've seen with 2 or 3 castles. I want at least each of 1 because you need those to be situational, and you still want some mana smoothing here. And the other big one here is Murky Pathway, Clearwater Pathway. Note, these are just lands. They're not a swamp and not a not an island, so you got to be careful there because that's not going to allow you to play these. So a lot of crafting and playing around here to kind of get you what I felt was a very strong mana base to take advantage of a lot of these other cards. We are running 19, but then when you add in 4 here, 1 here, 2 here, that's 7 plus that, you're at 7, 9 plus 19, you're at 28 lands. So a lot of very situational things. You could maybe get a little bit more risky, but I like it right here. You could drop out maybe 1 or 2 and switch in some other creatures or spells if you'd like, but I found this to be pretty optimized and runs well. We got to remember too that if we do drop these minus Agadims, it's going to come in tapped. So it does slow us down a little bit. So some things that we need to pay attention to. All right, so back to what we have. Jawari Disruption. We got a counter spell. We got Lofty Denial here. Works really well with our Flying Thief and some of the other flyers that we got here. So we got Drown and Lock. Carrying over, we also got Soaring Thought Thief. So this card's great. So flash flying, as long as an opponent has 8 or more cards in your graveyard, rogues we control get +1/+0. And then whenever 1 or more rogues we control attack, each opponent mills 2. So a consistent mill going on. I got Glasspool Mimic in here. So this card's great. We can pop it on the board and copy another creature. So this one's always good. This one's always good. I also like doing Nighthawks here and Slither Wisp once in a while. So very, very, very good options. We got our good old Brazen Borrower, Nighthawk Scavenger. So this is another big pickup here. Running 2 main boards, so we'll talk about that here in a second. So we got Flying, Death Touch, and Lifelink. Powers equal to 1+ number of card types among cards in our opponent's graveyard. So everything flows really well. If you are going to play and stick to best of 1, I may actually recommend pulling in 2 Nighthawks here for your main board. However, I like this kind of mix up here for a couple different reasons. I like the Slither Wisp because we got a lot of flash going on, and I like to get some draw engine going, and our opponent's losing some life is another option. This is really here for some big damage, as well as life gain and death touch if we need it. We got Agadim's Awakening, so this is a new card as well. So this is a modal land, just like Mimic and just like Jawari and Hagra Mauling. But what this one does is we can return from our graveyard to the battlefield any number of target creature cards that each have a different cost mana X or less. So this works really well. If at 7 we can pull everything back, that's inclusive of Rankle here. And at 6 you're going to get most of your stuff. So very, very powerful card in this deck. Hagra Mauling is great, so this we can destroy target creature, or we get another land, again another modal land, and then Rankle, Master of Pranks. So I really like this because it allows us to lock down our opponents, discard cards, sacrifice creatures, those kinds of things. Plays well again with Agadims. So there we have it. That is the main haul in terms of the list. I've spent a lot of time on this. There are a couple other cards that we can talk about here in a second, but first I'm going to go ahead and take a look at the sideboard, and we're going to talk through some of those options, and then ultimately how I kind of sideboard here. So first we got Blood Chief's Thirst. So this is an awesome Zendikar's Rising card. Destroys target creature, costs 2 or less, or we can kick it, kill any creature, or destroy target planeswalker, which is pretty powerful. Heartless Act. So you're going to begin to see it's a little bit more of a Dimir control deck with rogues when you look at my sideboard, but I found it to be very powerful. So next, again, Heartless Act, destroy target creature with no counters on it, or remove up to 3 counters. We got Mystical Dispute, and I probably should, sorry, I apologize. So let's go back here. Where would you sideboard this in? This is mainly here for creature-based decks. So this is going to be Gruul. This is going to be mono red. You may want to play this in the mirror as well. I would play this against decks that are running our lovely Cobra as another option there, and obviously anything that's running a Planeswalker, you're going to want to play this. Heartless Act. This works great against Boros, Houndmaster, or Wanada decks as well, and Selesnya counter ones. Next we got Heartless Act here. Oh, and Mono Green. Next, we got Heartless Act. So similar, all the ones that I mentioned, these are good ones to put in there. Mystical Dispute, similar. I would run this more so. We are still going to see the Omnath decks. I run this against the Omnath decks because you're going to want the counters more so, not necessarily always the creature-based stuff. So that's going to be a big one for you, but it does help to keep moving creatures off the board. But if you begin to shut down a lot of those big ramp cards, you're going to be doing just fine there, like the Ultimatum. You're also going to want to play this against any Azorius decks that you may run into. Additionally, Jeskai, I have seen a few of those. All good options there. Oh, and Esper. There's a really, really cool Esper deck out right now that's working really well. It's on my list to do, so stay tuned for that one as well. Next, Nighthawk Scavenger. So we got a couple of those already. Now, I'm going to talk why I have this in here on the sideboard here in a second when we get to the next card. But this one's great against creatures. It's great against some of the bigger stuff on the top end as well. So when we do run against the Omnath decks, we'll flip out a lot of things. We'll put in the Nighthawks because we're going to want that longevity a little bit more. So this is when we move more more so in towards a later end game. And then this was the other trick. Pestilent Haze. So all creatures get -2/-2 or remove 2 loyalty counters from each planeswalker. This you're going to want to run against things like mono red. You're going to want to run this against the Lotus Cobra decks potentially. If they're running Feldar, Retreat, those kinds of things, this works really well. And then also in the mirror match. This might catch some of your opponents off guard, particularly if they are still running some of the lower end of the power curve there. This one's going to work really well for you. So I put Nighthawk in there because then what you do is you side out some of the Merfolk, you can put in the Nighthawk, and then Pestilent Haze is not going to hit the Hawk. So it's a couple things to keep in mind there. Particularly why I have this, I found the mono red matchup to be probably one of the hardest for this deck, especially when they're running more burn. But I do like this one in here because this helps you kind of keep that board under control if you can get it. Next I have Ashiok's Erasure. I like this one a lot. I would almost consider 4 of, but the thing here is you get 2 of these on the board, you're gonna take out 8 cards out of their hand and out of their deck that they're not going to be able to play. So I really like this card. Very powerful. Again, you could maybe even switch in some Mystical Disputes to run more of these, but I think this is a good mix-up for you. So again, let's talk a little bit here about how we board. So as I mentioned, things that are more creature heavy, I'm going to pull out some of these guys. I'm happy to pull out some of these. Jwari Disruption, I think this Lofty Denial is a little bit more powerful, but if you're worried about some of the mana base, you can keep those in, obviously. And then I begin to put in some of these kill spells, and then Pestilent Haze, and then also on the upper end, some of the Nighthawk stuff. And then if we do run into a mirror match, similar, we can put in Ashiok's Erasure, Mystical Dispute, and some of the Heartless Axe. Again, I would probably move up here. And then some of the times I do take out Rankle or begin to remove Slitherwisp. If I take out Brazen Borrower and I take out some of my other flash creatures, I always leave Thieves Guild Enforcer in though. I'll pull those out and move some of these in towards the top end there. So very situational, awesome deck. I really enjoy this one. It's very competitive. And with that said, let's go hop into some ranked matches here for us today. All right, Planeswalkers, we are going to go play some best of 1 first, and then we will go play some, and there's that mono red deck, so make sure you guys go check that one out. Then we'll go play some best of 3. So with that said, just want to say thank you as always. Please feel free to subscribe to the channel down over there. If you like the video, please like it. You can like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter and Twitch. Now, a couple things about this deck in my rank. So I am 94% right now. I've been spending time trying to keep collecting packs. This is not a good start for us, so we will mulligan. Primarily because I like to at least have 1 of each. This is a little bit better and is keepable in my book. The only problem, again, is if we don't get that castle, but we should be okay. We'll keep 6. I will actually drop a land. And we'll go right off the bat. All right, so mono red. So this is gonna be a tough matchup for us. And we don't have as many kill spells. So this is gonna be a good test here for us against Sonic-y. Now, Drown and Lock's good already, which is really important here for us. One of the challenges that I've seen here is some are still playing Phoenix, and Phoenix presents a problem because as we fill the graveyard, they keep pulling it back. Some of the other versions of this used to play the Exile card, but it doesn't obviously make sense anymore because of the fact that Euro's gone. So that is something that we do need to be careful of. So here's exactly what I was talking about. This does not count as a swamp, so that really hurts us. Good news is I can still counter anything at 3 right now. And we will counter that. Alright, that is fine. We still have counters. That one I will counter. Well, what do we want to do here? Actually, I'm going to let that one resolve. I'm going to play Slither and then I'll just kill it. Uh-oh. They might have a... Okay, we're good. We'll see if he trades, huh? He or she. Alright, we're on the advantage here. That we gotta cover. Alright, here we go. We'll do that. Oh, there we go. We got it. Shut them down. Big win against Mono Red here with our Dimir Rogues deck. Moving on up. Alright, so worked out well, played well. Drown and Lock's the key one there for us against Mono Red. We got it to work out. A good keep and a good decision at the beginning of the match there. Alright, Planeswalkers. I absolutely love this deck. I was so happy to be able to play this one for you today. Finally got all my pieces. I'm getting close to completing the set, and soon we'll have a bunch of awesome new cards and decks to be playing here for you. Neuroban didn't do much, to be honest. So we got a lot of great things here. Flip, flippity, flip, and keep 7. So we'll go Swamp into Clearwater. And then we don't have any flyers, so Lofty isn't as good yet, but we do have a few things we can keep in mind. I may do Jawari Disruption on number 2. I gotta think. I'll have to think about it. Depends on what they're playing too. But we do have Agadeems. Alright, so Mono Red. So this may need to just be a little bit careful again. And I'm not surprised. Yeah. Not surprised we run into a Mono Red deck. I will kill this rogue first. Well, maybe not do that now. So they can activate Castle Embereth, so I need to be aware there. And we can't, we're not going to get our counter off, which is too bad. And here is the Phoenix that I mentioned that becomes a problem. And they're going to get all their counters in. Oh, alas. Alas. Unless we're able to get down to 7, we did not. Good match. We're not coming back from that one. Well, 1-1 on red. Like I said, that is the hard matchup. The Phoenix of Ash, there's a big problem. And we just we're not able to pull out. If we would have had a good flyer, then we would have been just fine there. Good matches. On to our best of 3. And I'm not surprised, that is exactly what I've been seeing. A ton of mono red again, especially in best of 1. Alright, Dimir Rogues. Here we go. So in that case, that's where we would board in the flyers, our Nighthawk flyers, and then additionally you would get the Pestilence, and that just wipes the board. So that is a big play there, and you just keep trading. You may want to consider putting in that sideboard, the card that you can pull a card out of the graveyard for, or Agonizing Remorse is always a good one too. We'll play first. So we're sitting okay here. I'm going to keep this. And I'm going to end up having to slow roll Thieves off the bat, because we'll go Hagra first and then into Clearwater. Alright, so we got a Gruul back. This will be a good match. That one caught me off just a little bit. can go sack. We'll go discard. Well, actually, let's just do it that way. I didn't want to do discard because I want to keep Agadims here, just in case. If they do have cleaved out, we're going to run into a problem. If we would have sacked too, it wouldn't have made that big enough. So that's good. They got worried about the wisp. What's he got? We got plenty here. Now we'll get rid of that one. Ooh, this is close. There we go. And we're good. We are good against the Gruul deck, so it's the Gruul Adventures. So we're going to do something slightly different. We know that they're running a lot of the lower end stuff. I'm going to dump these merfolk here. We like these, and we like those. I do like myself a couple of counters. Rankle did wonders for us. Slitherwisp was not as helpful. Brazen's helpful, but we'll go 2 lighter there. So we're at 63. I will drop 2 of those and 1 Rankle. There we go. So we got lots of control in now. And the core of our rogue deck is still there. Whew. Whew, 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 whew. All right, let's see what we can do here, Planeswalkers. North Coast Ghost it is. So we got everything that we need. So that's looking real nice. So we are going to keep that. Alright, bring it out to the middle. And I will go into our flyer here. So we got a few things. We do this. We will kick it. Oh, still good. So I leave it. I can play Drown and Lock. I leave that. So for the record, that was a mistake on my end. I actually thought, so we're gonna copy here. I actually thought there was more than 4 in there. So I have enough to counter, hopefully. And then I don't need to hopefully attack again. And we're good. All right. So Gruul is I've had a lot of success against Gruul with this particular deck. But there we have it, Planeswalkers. So we beat him on a red. Best of 1, lost to mono red in best of 1, and then beat a Gruul deck in a 2-0 match. Both first on the play and then on the turn. So this deck does a great job on the turn too, by the way, which is one of the reasons why I do really enjoy playing it. So let's go ahead here again, look at my Mythic Dimir Rogues deck that I really enjoy. So here we go. This list is, again, available for you down below. If you got questions, comments, you can make fun of me with my bad Drown and Lock there. It worked out, though. Happy to help out. But again, this is available for you to play right away. This is a great blend of best of 1, best of 3. Obviously, a great main board for best of 1 as well. And then kind of some of those sideboard options here. You can obviously play to your play style. This is just kind of mine and what works well for me. And I've had a very successful win rate with it as well. So definitely over, I think what I said was at 55%. I've been playing a ton of best of 3 with it, with some of the challenge stuff, and usually do pretty good going like 3-1. Just can't get unlucky there with that mono red, but hey, is what it is, and every deck's got to lose at some point. So Planeswalkers, you stay safe. Just want to say thank you as always. Please feel free to subscribe to the channel down over there, whether this is your first or 100th time, and like the video if you like it. You can like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter and Twitch, stay up to date. All right, Planeswalkers, you stay safe. We'll see you again soon. Mythras out. Take care.